Hello everyone, this is the second installment of the utility pole game. We look at utility poles and guess where it is or if we want to live there. The poles are generally in residential areas, usually with a transformer, if possible. This is a game best played with friends and hope everybody has fun. Alright, so let's look at our first pole here. Alright, so our primary's up there. Transformer looks clean, it's not rusted out. Secondaries are coming to different poles with service lines coming down. I can't tell if that street light's an LED or not, but it doesn't look terrible. Pole's in good shape. Wood pole, I can't quite tell what those crosses are at, and it does have cutoffs. Important thing is the comm stuff actually looks pretty good. Overall, I'm okay with this pole. So where do you think it's at? Or if you'd want to live there. Alright, well this is actually Juarez, Chihuahua in Mexico. Oh, gas meter and all that. So we have our secondaries coming off into that little service thing. It's got a a minimalistic meter. Yeah, that's Juarez, all right. All in all, Juarez looks like it's got pretty decent utility poles there, and that's the U.S. over there. Yeah, I still can't tell if that's an LED. It looks pretty incandescent to me. But overall, just based off electrical, good job, Juarez. All right, moving on to the next one. Ugh. All right, so it's the leftover comms, these coils that drive me nuts. We got a lot going on here. It looks like a concrete pole. Again, I can't tell if that's LED. That looks incandescent to me. Transformer's not terrible. Yeah, transformer's not terrible. But look at all this mess with the secondaries. Yeah, I know it's... Ugh. Look at all this just wires everywhere. Like, it doesn't look awful from about the street light up. Like, up in the high voltage and, down it's alright. But then it just gets nuts down here with these secondaries. There's wires going everywhere. Though palm trees kind of might have gave it away a little bit. So where do you think it is if you want to live there? So we're in Santo Domingo in the... now, where the hell is that? Hold on. Let me figure out where the fuck I am. Dominican Republic. So yeah, that's the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo. Yeah, no thanks. Alright, moving on. Oh, I remember this one. Alright, so we have these big, thick, timber pressure-treated poles. Our high voltage up there. And we're missing some stuff here. But the reason I threw this in here is... these poles aren't connected to anything. We have this one secondary line going, but it's... There's no primary. It's just poles. Like, look down the street. There's some stuff way down there. Other direction. A little stuff over there. But just random poles. And I thought that was funny. Just remove them. I mean, you have this one wire that comes over to this... Ugh. This mess over there. But that just... I don't know if that's hooked in or it looks like a guy, but there's nothing connected to these. Why are they still there? Do you want to live by poles with no purpose? Well, it's in Togo. Or Tongo. Yeah, Tongo. Which is an island in the South Pacific. Everything else, looks interesting. I wouldn't mind checking it out. The roads are good. That's better than most places. But just these two random utility poles that aren't connected to anything. Why? I don't understand. I'm curious to see what transformer used to live in that too. That's a big square box. But Yeah, that's Tongo. All right, moving on. All right, so offset beam, gusseted primary. Transformer looks decent-ish. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what those big cuffs are there. Your street light. Down here, though, it's the comm stuff that always... I don't know if it's because it's... how much of it's still being used and it's just been abandoned or what's going on. I mean, it's not terrible. We have little coils, but not big ones. But it's just busy and messy. And if we kind of look around... yeah, secondaries down there coming off for the service lines. Big service mass, too. Interesting. I don't know, maybe tighten the wires up. But no, you can't because it's not by a pole. Odd choices. Choices were made here. What's that pole made? Is that wood? I can't tell. Anyway, where do you think this is? You want to live there? Well, it's good old Panama City, Panama. A lot of wrought iron in this place. Some palm trees. A whole bunch of wiring mess down there. These midstream secondaries, oops, are just goofy. How's that neighboring pole look? All right, there's our big comm coil. Yeah, I knew we were going to have one of them. Just in case we need an extra 150 foot of comm wire, we got it. Got it covered. Cool big insulators. That's kind of a neat pole, but yeah, those don't look LED to me. Those look pretty incandescent. Streetlight classic. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what that pole's made. Is that a concrete pole? You see a lot of the concrete poles in the more rainy tropical climates for the most part. Well, that was kind of crooked, huh? Yeah, it could be from the camera though too. Yeah, it's not terrible, Panama. I'll give you that. It's not terrible. Ugh. I don't want to live by it, but it's better than most. You got pretty birds, I'll give you that. You have dogs standing on top of buildings like Argentina had. Another coil. Ooh, what's going on over there? Yeah, that's Panama. All right, next up, we have a nice, big, tall, clean transformer. Primaries up there. I don't know what those things are. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with those. Whatever little cut switches there down to that. Real clean primary or secondaries coming down off the Jenny or transformer. Hold on. Is that supposed to be hanging like that? No, yeah, that one is too. I don't know what's going on there. Again, I'm not a lineman. I'm just a guy who has a weird thing for utility poles. All right, so we got our secondary coming over here to this pole and then spreading out. Another random pole just for comms. Comms themselves, not terrible. Not an extra 150, feet of cable just hanging there. Not terrible. Now, what do you think? Where do you think it is? You want to live there? Well, this is actually Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, that's Dearborn, all right. It's outside of Detroit a little bit. Oh, that pole's kind of rough, huh? Again, the redacted pole. The angles and stuff is kind of deceptive just on the nature of the cameras that recorded it. And we just have this pole right there for comms that... So that comm line doesn't look like it is... Yeah, that comm line doesn't touch the pole. Just... I don't know what the purpose of that pole is. So I don't know what's up with that. Is that a Sunoco? Hey, but the pole's got a Sunoco sticker on it, so it must be all right, huh? And I can't tell if that's an LED. That looks incandescent. Was Dearborn the last city in the U.S. to still run incandescent streetlights or low pressure sodium? If I say incandescent, I just mean not LED. I mean, low pressure sodium isn't an incandescent, but I mean a more traditional streetlight. So I'm going to call that a more traditional streetlight. I know Dearborn's got bigger issues than their utilities, and they really don't look that bad. But yeah, just on poles alone, not terrible. No, that's an LED. Yeah. The LED matrix right there. There's just that one classic one down the street. Oh, bitchin'. Alright, moving on. Ugh. What's up with this primary? Oh, is that a termination than just to a guy? No? Is that to a... What the hell? I mean, alright, comms is a mess. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Comms is a mess. Primary's coming down. I don't know about that streetlight. Primary's coming down to our transformer right there. But look at this secondary. Comms aside, that secondary, look, I don't know what they're doing there. That's sketch. I don't know what this garbage is either. Yeah, I'm not a fan of what's going on here. Yeah, no thank you. Yeah, I don't want to live by pole 294122. How about you? Where do you think this is? Well, this here is Santo Domingo. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, that is in Ecuador? Let's look. That looks like Ecuador, right? Yep, Ecuador. So yeah, not terrible, but that comm stuff was a mess. And those secondaries kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies. All right, moving on. Oh, clean, tight. I like it. All right, so we have LED right there. Primaries look clean. Good cutout. Transformer, nice. Oh, I like that, the connection to the secondaries. Those linemen were paying attention. I like that. Our service lines coming off of our secondary look pretty good. Poles, wood. I can't tell if that's a crack or the ground, or, you know, ground coming down. I would have no issues living by this pole. Now, where do you think it is? We're in Ottawa, in Ontario. I'm told this is the capital of the Canadians. Neighboring pole. Yeah, not bad either. Yeah, no. Said it before, I'm pretty impressed by the Canadian electrical and utility infrastructure. All right, what I don't like is running secondaries across the roadway overhead like that. I don't like that. We got, was probably comm coming over too. Yeah, see all that mess? I don't like that. It's hard to avoid. I was looking at was that Calgary on the other side of Canada, and they primarily run all their utilities through the alleys behind the houses, so it's not going over main thoroughfares. So other than that, good job, Ottawa. All right, next up. Ah! What a goofy setup. We don't have a transformer on this one. We do have an LED street light, though it looks homemade. It's literally chained to the pole. It is a concrete pole. Makes me think it's kind of more tropical or wetter area, but I've never seen a street light chained to a pole before. That's funny. That's funny. So this is probably this is probably secondary. There's probably a transformer further down the way. Nice, pretty bushes and stuff. Oh, God. Comms at the junction's a mess. No huge coils. They got these little teardrop shaped dealy wompers to wrap up excess and so I got no issues with that. It's these guys just kind of hanging out and random lines hanging out. Concrete pole. Ugh. What do you think? You wanna live there, or where do you think it's at? They got pretty flowers. Little tree thing there. But no, I tend to avoid it because that looks like they just piled wire into some kid's backpack and bolted it to the damn lines. I'm out on this one. If I remember, I think this is in somewhere down in Mexico, I think. Let me double check. We are in Monterrey. That's right. We were in Monterrey. Yeah, sorry, Monterrey. Not down with your electrical. All right, well, that's it for this one. I tried to keep it shorter than the previous one. I'll probably end up making another one eventually. Have a great night. Don't touch power lines.